The moment she stepped into the bank, the room went silent for all the wrong reasons. People stared, whispered, and even laughed, underestimating her in ways that felt almost invisible, yet heavy in the air. No one could have predicted what was about to happen next. She wasn't here to follow the usual rules, and the energy she carried demanded attention. Every step she took echoed across the polished floors, drawing curious glances and confused expressions. At first, the laughter seemed harmless, almost playful, but it quickly turned into a tense curiosity as she approached the teller. She wasn't just any customer, she carried a calm confidence that made everyone stop and take notice, even if they didn't realize it yet. Behind her quiet exterior was a sharp mind and a plan so precise it would leave the entire branch frozen in disbelief. The employees, the people in line, even the security guards, none of them saw it coming. There was something magnetic about her presence, something that made people question their assumptions without them even realizing it. And then, in just a few minutes, the entire atmosphere shifted. The chatter stopped, phones were lowered, and jaws dropped. Whatever was about to unfold would change the way this bank and everyone inside looked at her forever. No one knew much about her, and that made the moment even more unsettling. People whispered guesses, some thought she was just another customer, others assumed she must be someone important, someone with a reason to demand attention. The truth, however, was far more surprising. She wasn't here for recognition, and she certainly wasn't here for trouble. Her story began long before she walked into this bank, shaped by challenges, setbacks, and a determination that refused to bend under pressure. Behind her calm exterior was a history of being underestimated, overlooked, and dismissed. Every laugh thrown her way had been like a tiny weight, stacking over the years, shaping her into someone who could turn disbelief into astonishment. She knew how people judged in seconds, how assumptions could make even a room full of professionals falter, and she had learned to use that perception to her advantage. As she approached the counter, the air grew thicker with anticipation. Employees shifted nervously, glancing at each other, unsure how to respond. Lines of customers held their breath, caught between curiosity and fear. What she was about to do wasn't just bold, it was precise, almost surgical, and the tension in the room reflected that. Outside, the world continued as usual, oblivious to the storm building inside the bank. Inside, every second dragged, stretching the suspense, while her expression remained unreadable. One small movement, one word, could change everything in an instant. And as the teller looked up, ready to greet her, the silence deepened, leaving everyone wondering what exactly was about to happen next. The tension in the bank was electric, like the calm before a storm. Every eye followed her, every breath seemed louder in the quiet. Behind the counter, the teller fidgeted, unsure if she should speak first or wait for her to make the move. Customers exchanged nervous glances, some shifting in their seats, others gripping their bags a little tighter. No one wanted to make the first mistake, yet everyone felt the pull of curiosity and almost dangerous desire to see what she would do. Meanwhile, the security guard, a man who had seen hundreds of ordinary bank visits, now felt an unfamiliar unease. Something about her defied explanation. His instincts told him to prepare, to react, but he couldn't read her, and that uncertainty made him hesitate. Across the room, a mother holding her child whispered for them to stay calm, sensing the growing energy in the air. Even the regulars, people who frequented the bank daily, were frozen, their routines interrupted by a single presence. From another angle, her phone buzzed silently in her pocket, a reminder of why she was there, a connection to a world outside that no one in the branch could understand. That small device held pieces of information, proof, and plans, things that, if revealed, would change the perspective of everyone present. She didn't flinch. Every gesture, every glance was deliberate, calculated to make the right impression, or maybe to break expectations entirely. And as minutes stretched, it became clear that this wasn't just a simple visit to the bank. Something bigger was unfolding, something that would test perceptions, patience, and perhaps even courage. Every heartbeat in the room matched hers, and every second brought the moment closer when everything would either unravel or explode. The air in the bank felt heavier with each passing second. Even the ticking of the clock seemed louder, echoing in the stunned silence. Every person inside was caught in a strange mixture of fear and fascination, unsure whether to move, speak, or even breathe. Her eyes scanned the room slowly, deliberately, and with each glance, the tension grew. It wasn't anger or threat in her demeanor, it was control. A quiet, undeniable power that made everyone suddenly aware of how fragile their assumptions had been. The teller's hands trembled slightly as she reached for the computer, but paused mid-motion. She had no idea what this woman wanted, and that uncertainty made every second stretch endlessly. Nearby, the security guard adjusted his stance, trying to mask the unease creeping into his body. Even he felt the unusual weight of the moment, the sense that this was more than a normal bank visit. In the waiting area, murmurs began to ripple, low and hesitant, as people exchanged glances filled with questions and disbelief. Some whispered about who she might be, others guessed at her purpose, but no one could see through the calm determination that radiated from her. Every instinct told them something big was about to happen, yet no one could predict the exact moment it would strike. She took a single, deliberate step forward, and the room seemed to hold its collective breath. The phone in her pocket buzzed again, a subtle signal only she noticed, reminding her of the stakes and the plan that had brought her here. Hearts raced, palms sweated, and every eye followed her as she moved toward the teller, every second dragging longer than the last. Time was stretching, anticipation was peaking, and everyone in the bank knew whatever happened next would leave them frozen, stunned, and forever changed. Just as the tension in the room reached a breaking point, something unexpected happened. The teller's screen flickered, and the usual calm of the bank was shattered by a sudden, loud beep. A new notification appeared, flashing a message that seemed completely out of place. It wasn't from the bank system, but from someone watching, someone who knew she was there. Heads turned, eyes widened, and even the security guard froze, caught between instinct and confusion. The woman's expression didn't change, but her eyes sharpened, a subtle signal that this new development was part of the plan, or perhaps an unforeseen complication. The whispering in the waiting area turned into nervous chatter, people instinctively backing up or shifting, unsure what was about to unfold. The simple act of entering the bank had already frozen the room in anticipation, but now, with this unexpected twist, the stakes were higher than anyone could have imagined. Meanwhile, behind her calm exterior, a flurry of thoughts raced. The buzz of her phone, the flicker of the screen, the sudden tension, it all connected to a bigger picture that no one else could see. Someone outside the bank was monitoring the situation, and it wasn't clear whether they were friend or foe. Every step she had taken to control the room now had to account for this new variable. The clock ticked louder in the silence. The customers gripped their belongings, the teller's hands hovered uncertainly over the keyboard, and the security guard's posture stiffened. Every eye followed her as she paused, sensing the shift in the air. Whatever was about to happen next wouldn't just shock the bank, it would challenge everything they thought they understood about her. And in that suspended moment, everyone knew nothing in this branch would ever be the same. The silence in the bank shattered in an instant. With a calm but deliberate movement, she placed a small device on the counter, and the entire branch seemed to hold its breath. The teller froze, unsure whether to reach for it or step back, while the security guard instinctively tensed. Then, with a quiet click, the device projected a live feed on the teller's monitor, revealing errors, hidden accounts, and a massive discrepancy in the bank's records that no one inside had noticed. Gasps filled the room as the truth unfolded in real time, the laughter, the assumptions, the underestimation, it had all led to this moment.